All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a few real people out there just like you and just like me. Thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Also, thank you, patrons, for patronizing. Still recovering from the Thanksgiving holiday. Still, too much turkey just slows you down, makes you want to sleep. Anyway, before I get going on this video, this is going to be a little more controversial in some ways because I really think the music world is obsessed with hell. Okay, and I'm going to illustrate this in this article and this concert, which is a really big deal, and all these bands are going to be there. To counterbalance that, here is John Elefante. This is called The Amazing Grace, came out last year. John, of course, used to be in the band Kansas like 40 years ago. Time keeps on slipping into the future. John, though, hasn't really lost a step, is still brilliant, a great writer, composer, producer, arranger. I mean, he's like, this is just top-notch stuff. So, again, John Elefante and The Amazing Grace has a slightly different message than what I'm going to be talking about here. Hence, that's why it's a counterweight or counterbalance to the article. So here's the headline from MSN.com, and they probably got this from a rock publication of some kind. Hellfest release insanely huge 2024 lineup. Metallica, Avenged Sevenfold, Machine Head, The Prodigy, Corey Taylor, Tom Morello, and dozens more now confirmed. Now, I was reading a list of bands, and it started to sound like something the Babylon Bee would be coming up with to celebrate this heavy metal Hellfest. I'm just curious as to how everything got so dark and crazy. We went from Fats Domino, Chuck Berry, Bill Haley, to where we are now. Oh, man. I mean, I guess it's just a natural progression, the light against the darkness. But check out these names, all right? And again, some of these are familiar, but if you put them all together, it just doesn't sound good. So we've got Fear Factory. These are some of the bands, artists that are going to be there. Enter Shikari, Saxon, who are still around, and they're not a bad band, but I'm just saying they're in there. Rage Against the Machine, of course, or just Tom Morello. So they say Rage Against the Machine, guitarist Tom Morello. Body Count. This is where we get into the Babylon Bee stuff. Mr. Bungle, Accept, who are still around. Sodom. No, I'm not making that one up. It's Sodom. Just Sodom. So if you're going to go to Hellfest, you're going to be listening to Sodom, which I guess makes sense, right? Cradle of Filth. Honey, could you bring me a Cradle of Filth over here, please, so I can just gaze into it? It's a Cradle of Filth. Emperor. Ice 9 kills. Ice 9 kills. I'm not sure if the kills go with the ice or the 9, but either way, Ice 9 kills. All right? Bleed from Within. This is not a parody. Bleed from Within will be there. Well, Dave, there are a lot of band names that were just crazy back in the day, and you have to come to grips with that too. Yeah, I know. I listened to Deep Purple and Black Sabbath, and surprised they didn't try to get some version of Black Sabbath together, but obviously Ozzy is not up for that. I'm sure he'd want to be there, or if he could be there, he would. But Bleed from Within will be there. Suicidal Tendencies, which obviously makes sense. If you're going to Hellfest, you probably need some suicidal tendencies. Biohazard. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Biohazard to the stage. And the merch table at Biohazard must be awesome, though. I mean, get yourself a hazmat suit, with biohazard written on it. The next band is called While She Sleeps. While She Sleeps. That just kind of conjures up some really creepy, weird stuff. All right. So what happens while she sleeps? Well, we show up. Bad. Very, very bad. Pain of Salvation. All right. So, here's a little bright spot here. They use the word salvation, but it's painful. According to them, it's the pain of salvation. So don't get saved because it's painful. Nile is next. The Haunted, of course, makes a lot of sense. And Dismember. Dismember is going to be at Hellfest. Also announced for the festival and making their debut appearance, none other than the hard-hitting EDM legends, The Prodigy. Their addition to the bill, alongside Foo Fighters, yes, Foo Fighters, they're going to be headliners. Foo Fighters. They do everything, Foo Fighters. In fact, they are rock and roll today. You really need no other band except for Foo Fighters, because pretty much every article is about where the Foo Fighters are going to be. They've just continued on without their drummer, and unfortunately, it's like he wasn't even there. I thought they might just stop after that happened, but they're out there, and I think they even put out a new album. So yeah, they're basically saying with the Foo Fighters there and Prodigy, which is an EDM band, this is getting outside the traditional metal, which I guess wasn't enough for the promoters. Other bands of note, Megadeth, The Offspring, Queens of the Stone Age, that makes sense, Royal Blood, Bad Omens, again, this is not from the Babylon Bee, All Them, Witches, Baby Metal, Brujeria, I think that's how you say it, Brutus, Dark Tranquility, Eternal Champion, Fu Manchu, Madball, Nova Twins, Rhapsody of Fire, Satyricon, and the Interrupters. It's like, it's like brainstorming with a bunch of marketing guys. All right, sit down and write a bunch of crazy, dark heavy metal names on a piece of paper, and we'll put them into a box, right? And we'll pick the best ones. So in case you wanted to know, Hellfest 2024 takes place June 27th to June 30th, just outside Clisson in France. Weekend tickets are already sold out, folks. But single-day tickets will go on sale in early time. So it's already... The weekend is sold out. But if you want single-day tickets, they'll go on sale early in 2024. Stay tuned to the official Hellfest website. Now, they call it Hellfest. Why? It's not music, it's celebrating hell. It's a music festival, right? This is supposed to be music, but it's called Hellfest. Well, it's been around forever, Dave. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. This isn't your lane. Not really. It's really not my lane. But I'm observing something. I'm observing the darkness in the world and in the culture and what's left of rock and roll. And again, the Foo Fighters go everywhere. There's like a big event. They're on the bill. And if they're not on the bill, something's wrong. Foo Fighters aren't there. What's going on? And then you got EDM, which is some really crazy music. We had some wild stuff happen at least one or two American EDM music festivals. Although I hear David Lee Roth loves EDM. So then, there you go. He's way ahead. As always, David Lee Roth, way ahead of the curve. Good for him. But honestly, folks, this is a far cry from Little Richard and Elvis Presley and how this all started. I don't know where it went wrong, but it has gone wrong. It definitely has. And, there's always variations on a form, right? An art form, and it takes on new variations, but this is mutated. This is metastasized, and it's become, in some cases, cancerous. It's not something that you want to, celebrate when your kids come home. Hey, Mom, I got the new Sodom CD. Oh, boy. Someone's going to come back and tell me, Dave, you didn't know Sodom was a Christian band? Yeah, they're celebrating what happened to Sodom. You know, I mean, I don't know, maybe. I don't think so. I think they're glorifying the culture of Sodom and most likely Gomorrah. There must be a metal band out there called Gomorrah, but just, you know, Sodom just sounds better, I guess. So, in any event, folks, nothing to see here, really. It's just darkness that continues to, you know, get worse over time. And what's the cure? Well, something like this. John Elefante, The Amazing Grace, Jesus Christ as your Savior, the indwelling of the Holy Spirit instead of this dark spirit. The reason I say it like bluntly like that, because I don't know what else, you know, can cure this stuff. And if your interests and your tastes and your preferences to these sorts of things don't change, then I don't know if anything's truly going on in your life. I will say that. There are things that, you know, I could promote, but I find out about it and I go, I don't know if I want to promote that. And it's just, you know, it's intentionally dark. Whereas, you know, like Ozzy Osbourne, for instance, you can knock Ozzy, but to me, a lot of what Ozzy did, I don't think he took it very seriously. That's my opinion on it. I'm not saying that it's good to listen to certain things, but for instance, Ozzy had this tune called Suicide Solution, and everybody thought it was advocating for suicide. And I believe Ozzy, when he said no, this was a song against that idea. But, you know, things can be bent out of proportion. I think you need some melody and some harmony and some sunlight rather than the constant darkness. So that's just my opinion. And again, I'm the old geezer, not quite a boomer, but I'm close, and I kind of act like a boomer most of the time. So my apologies to those of you who are bummed out that I'm not a big Sodom fan. Okay? And what is it? Cradle of Filth. I mean, come on. You can't get that kind of writing from the Babylon Bee. You guys at the Bee, you need to start working harder. You need to just read the actual names of bands and just, you know, put it in a meme somewhere. I'm sure it will circulate all over the place. I want to thank everybody for supporting this channel this year. We are going into the last month, and I do need your support. Things changed a lot at the beginning of this year. I'm still here because of the patrons on this channel. If you can afford to do Patreon for like $1 or $2 a month, $5, whatever you can do, that is very helpful. I've had people supporting this channel now for like 3 years, I think, 5 years, something like that. So I don't take them for granted. I probably don't thank them enough, but I'm thanking them. I'm thanking everybody for watching the videos, and God bless you all. Stay positive. This world is a very dark place. And I think we need some, you know, some musical light rather than this craziness, because just feeding the dark side is just going to make you more depressed. That's my medical advice, my psychological advice for everybody. Not the rocket scientist. I'm just some guy who is still trying to figure things out.